Jungkook knew exactly what he was doing. The way he leaned in just a little too close to the investor, the small laugh he let slip when the man whispered something to him, it was all intentional. He wasn't really interested, but he wanted to see if Taehyung would react. He didn't expect the CEO's gaze to turn that dark. The moment the gala ended, Taehyung had a hand around his wrist, pulling him into the back seat of his black Maybach. The tension was thick, unspoken words crackling between them. "You think this is funny?" Taehyung's voice was deep, controlled, but Jungkook could hear the sharp edge of jealousy beneath it. Jungkook smirked, tilting his head. "What? I was just doing my job." His breath hitched when Taehyung suddenly leaned in, gripping his chin. "Your job is to handle business, not flirt." Jungkook's lips parted, but he couldn't deny the thrill running down his spine. "I wasn't. Don't test me, Jungkook." The ride home was silent, thick with anticipation. Jungkook could feel Taehyung's stare burning into him, possessive and unreadable. The moment they stepped inside their penthouse, Jungkook barely had time to gasp before Taehyung shoved him against the door. "I should punish you," Taehyung murmured, voice low as he pressed them together. Jungkook swallowed hard, eyes flickering with challenge. "Then do it." Taehyung's control snapped. He grabbed Jungkook by the waist and threw him onto the bed. And that night, Jungkook was thoroughly reminded that Taehyung never liked to share. Jungkook barely had time to process before his back hit the mattress. The room was dimly lit, the city lights outside casting faint shadows over Taehyung's sharp features. His broad frame loomed over Jungkook, eyes dark, jaw clenched as he climbed onto the bed, caging him in. Jungkook's breath was unsteady, but his lips still curled into a teasing smirk. "What's wrong, CEO Neem?" Jealous Taehyung exhaled sharply through his nose, his fingers gripping Jungkook's chin, tilting his face up. "You think this is a joke?" His voice was dangerously low, sending shivers down Jungkook's spine. Jungkook met his gaze, defiance flickering in his blue eyes. "I think you're overreacting." Taehyung's fingers tightened just slightly, enough to make Jungkook swallow. "Overreacting? You let him touch you." Jungkook's tongue darted out to wet his lips. "It was just a handshake, Taehyung," but the way Taehyung was looking at him made his stomach tighten. There was something raw in his eyes, something dark, possessive. The tension crackled between them, thick and electric. Taehyung's hand trailed down Jungkook's throat, resting over his collarbone. "You like testing me, don't you?" Jungkook's smirk faltered when Taehyung's grip shifted, pressing him down into the mattress. His body responded before his mind could catch up, his breath hitched, instinctively pressing together. Taehyung's eyes flickered downward, noticing. His lips curved into a slow, knowing smirk. "I should remind you," Taehyung murmured, leaning closer, his breath warm against Jungkook's skin. "Whose bed you belong in?" Jungkook's body tensed beneath him. He wasn't about to let Taehyung win this game so easily. So he tilted his chin up, voice laced with challenge. "Then remind me." Taehyung didn't need to be told twice. His lips crashed against Jungkook's, fingers gripping his waist as he pressed him deeper into the bed. Jungkook gasped against his mouth, desperate, leaving no space for protest. Taehyung's hands were everywhere, claiming, possessive, as if trying to erase any trace of another man's touch. By the time Taehyung pulled back, Jungkook's lips were breath shaky, heart hammering in his chest. Taehyung traced his thumb over Jungkook's lower lip, voice dark with satisfaction. Do you get it now? Jungkook's head was spinning, but he still had enough fight left to whisper, "Not quite yet." Taehyung growled low in his throat, eyes flashing. "Oh, baby." His lips gusted over Jungkook's ear, sending a shiver down his spine. "Then I guess I'll have to teach you properly." And with that, Jungkook was lost. Jungkook barely had time to react before Taehyung's lips found his throat, a warmth trailing over his skin that sent a shiver down his spine. The CEO wasn't gentle, he never was when he was jealous. His lips pressed firm, his touch possessive, as if making sure Jungkook remembered exactly who he belonged to. Jungkook's fingers clutched at Taehyung's shoulders, a quiet gasp escaping him. His body betrayed him, arching into Taehyung's touch despite the teasing challenge he had thrown earlier. "You really don't know when to stop pushing my limits, do you?" Taehyung murmured, his voice low and edged with something dangerous. Jungkook forced a smirk, though his heartbeat gave him away. "Maybe I like seeing you lose control." Taehyung pulled back just enough to meet Jungkook's gaze, his dark eyes brimming with something intense, something more than just jealousy. It was possessive in a way that went beyond mere attraction, something deeper, something unshakable. His fingers traced down Jungkook's sides, slow and teasing, making the younger's breath hitch. "You put on such a tough act," Taehyung mused, his tone almost amused. "But look at you." His hand rested firmly against Jungkook's waist, keeping him right where he wanted. "So responsive." Jungkook bit his lip, refusing to give in so easily. "Don't flatter yourself, CEO Neem." Taehyung chuckled, low and rich, his smirk sending another wave of warmth through Jungkook. "Oh, sweetheart." His fingers brushed against the hem of Jungkook's shirt, sliding underneath to graze over warm skin. "I don't need to flatter myself. You're already reacting to me." Jungkook hated how true that was. His pride burned, but not enough to stop the way his body reacted to Taehyung's presence. He hated how easily Taehyung could unravel him, how effortlessly he could turn teasing into surrender. Taehyung leaned in, his lips brushing against Jungkook's ear. "Should I make you say my name?" Jungkook's breath stuttered, his fingers curling into the sheets. He turned his head slightly, their lips barely touching as he whispered, "Try me." Taehyung's grip on his waist tightened, eyes flashing with determination. "Oh, I will." And as Taehyung closed the space between them, Jungkook knew he had lost this battle. Jungkook barely had time to think before Taehyung's lips captured his once again, rougher this time, more desperate. It wasn't just jealousy fueling him anymore, it was something deeper, something unspoken yet impossible to ignore. The way Taehyung held him, the way his hands traced over Jungkook's skin as if committing him to memory, made Jungkook's breath catch. This wasn't just about proving a point. This was something real. Jungkook's fingers found their way into Taehyung's hair, gripping tightly as he pulled the CEO closer. Their bodies fit together effortlessly, like two pieces of a puzzle that had always belonged. "Mine," Taehyung whispered against his lips, his voice thick with emotion, his grip on Jungkook's waist firm. Jungkook's heart stuttered. He wanted to tease, to challenge, to fight for control, but he couldn't. Not when Taehyung was looking at him like this. Like he was the only thing that mattered. Taehyung pressed their foreheads together, breathing heavily. "Don't ever make me jealous again," he murmured, his voice softer now, almost pleading. Jungkook swallowed, his hands cupping Taehyung's face. "You don't need to be jealous," he said quietly, honestly. "There's no one else, Taehyung." "There never was." Taehyung exhaled sharply, as if releasing something heavy inside him. He kissed Jungkook again, slower this time, gentler, no longer trying to prove anything, just feeling. Jungkook melted into it, his fingers tracing over Taehyung's jaw. "You're impossible," he murmured when they pulled away, breathless but smiling. Taehyung chuckled, his thumb brushing over Jungkook's swollen lips. "Yeah," Jungkook nodded, his voice softer now. "But you're my impossible," Taehyung smirked, pressing another Jungkook's forehead before whispering, "And I always will be." That night, jealousy faded into the background. All that remained was them, two souls, completely and irrevocably each other's.